Now, this thing right here went viral for all the right reasons, because you got this man at a dating competition, and he is behaving exactly the opposite in the way that society tells men to behave. And what happens is that he ends up with the waifu. Like, he actually ends up taking the girl of his dreams to his home. But because of the way he behaved, he caused a stir on social media, and this got him fired from work. And he's a plumber, by the way. Like, his ability of seducing women has nothing to do with plumbing. But we're going to get into that in a bit. So, I can't show you the actual thing because it's probably copyrighted. Though I can show you clips of it and tell you what happened. Now, the way this dating competition works is that the man is presented and all the women have a balloon. And the ones that do not want to date the man, the ones that aren't interested, are supposed to pop the balloon. And when the balloon is popped, this lady here with the microphone will go to the lady that popped the balloon and ask her, why did you pop it? Why aren't you interested in the man? And she will give her arguments. And this is what happens, right? Like, the guy enters, he looks at the ladies look at him, and after a couple of minutes, one of them pops a balloon. So they go and ask her, it's like, well, why did you pop it? And she says, I really don't like the way he looks. He's too muscular, not really my type. And the guy listens to her very respectfully, doesn't interrupt her, allows her to say her piece. And then he picks up the microphone and says, that's okay, like, you're not my type either. And at this point, she literally freaks out. It's like the peasant giving sass to the queen. It's like, how dare this little man say that I am not his type? Does he not know that I am everybody's type, right? Like, you can see that's how the transformation goes. And they start giving sass to each other. Again, the man is very respectful, doesn't interrupt her, allows her to finish, calls her ma'am, calls her queen, but basically says, you're not my type either. And due to this conversation, more women start popping the balloon. And as the microphone goes to them, this lady in particular, she says, yeah, I kind of found him somewhat interesting. Like, I was willing to give him a chance. Like, my eternal mercy may have been granted to him, but the way he argues with women doesn't sit well with me. I don't want the man that talks back to me. I don't like this type, right? Basically, she didn't like the fact that he isn't a puppy. Like, she doesn't want a man that has his own opinions and has his own desires and needs. She wants a slave, pretty much. At least that's what I got. That's the vibe that I got from her speech. And the guy goes, it's like, well, that's fair enough, but you're not my type. Like, these other two girls were my type. I wasn't even considering you, queen. And at this point, she's like completely livid, and she goes like, well, this girl that you claim she's your type, yeah, she popped her balloon too, didn't you see? And he's like, queen, I understand. That's fine. Like, she's allowed to pop her balloon. That's understandable. But I'm telling you how it is. I just don't like you. I don't think we're a match. I don't think we're compatible. So she gets more angry, and at one point, she starts insulting him by saying, oh, you look like the type that has a roommate. Like, you can't even afford your own house, and the roommate doesn't give you any, and this is why you're acting this way. This is why you're behaving this manner. And he says, like, queen, listen, I'm a plumber. I earn my own paycheck. I live alone. And she's like, oh, so what if you're a plumber? I'm a real estate agent. And it's like, well, that doesn't matter. Like, we're not talking about comparing jobs. It's just that I happen to make my own money and I do live alone. I enjoy what I do. So anyway, as this goes on, more women pop their balloons. And at this point, you notice that the interaction is very collectivist. Like, a lot of these women were interested in going out with him, but due to how other women reacted, due to what other women were saying, that it's unacceptable for a man to talk back. It's unacceptable for him to have his own preferences. It's unacceptable for him to do anything else besides sit there and take the humiliation. Because again, like, this is a public broadcast, right? Like, this is not an interaction that happens in a bar. This is televised. Like, his friends at home get to see it. His parents get to see it. So the fact that he just doesn't sit there and take all the insults and criticism with his head bowed, allegedly makes him undesirable. And what we notice is a small social experiment, if you will. Like, all these ladies just waited for the opinion of the other ladies. Like, they weren't popping their balloons in the beginning, but the moment the other ladies started speaking, they started popping their balloons just not to make the other ladies look bad. Because the man was dominating them in the conversation. Like he was giving strong rebuttals to everything they were saying. And they were looking bad, so they had to pop their balloons in order to save face, I guess, to the other ladies and be like, look, you're not the only one that didn't pop her balloon. But there was one lady that didn't. And she was actually pretty good looking, I would say. I think it's this lady in the corner here. You can't see her because she's masked by the presenter. Let me see if I can get her from a different angle. Anyway, like it seems that it was actually one of the ladies that the guy was interested in as well. And they have like a really wholesome conversation. And he even asks her if she's a Christian. And she says that she is. And asks her, like, do you believe in God? And goes like, yes, ma'am. I'm a God-fearing Christian. And it's like, what are your intentions from this? And he's like, well, I just want to start a family and have children. Right, like very, very wholesome conversation, and they end up walking together, and every other woman is absolutely seething. Like you can see it on their faces that they're not happy. They're smiling, but they're not smiling with their eyes, pretty much, right? So this was like the dating show that went viral on the internet, and it just goes to show that you need to have backbone. Like, you as a man, you need to know what you want and not take insults from other people. Like, if these were other men giving him insults, and he would respond, no one would have a problem with this, right? Like, again, he wasn't disrespectful, he wasn't impolite, he wasn't aggressive or anything like that. He just didn't allow people to walk over him. I mean, again, there were some ladies that rejected him in a nice manner without insulting him, and he had nothing negative to say about them. But the moment, like, they were trying to fling insults, the moment they were attacking him, he would have, like, the same rebuttals. Like, literally responding in the same kind. And this was unacceptable, especially for the internet. Because allegedly this is his social media post, and he's saying that all this clout chasing got me fired from work. Man, I really love plumbing and I'm good at it, and they got that taken away from me. Y'all are sick. They called the company 500 times and are messing up business. So basically, they doxed him. They found out where he worked over this, and they did their best in order to fire him. Absolutely disgusting and vile behavior. Social justice is the enemy of the working class. Like, I want you to imagine if this guy was on welfare and didn't have a job, they would have had absolutely nothing they could do to him. But due to the fact that he was a productive member of society, they had a way of getting at him. And how mad were they? Like, when you look at the dating show, again, it's a public thing for entertainment purposes, and maybe the guy was even hyping it up a little bit, but he did absolutely nothing illegal. He did absolutely nothing that your own mother would be disappointed with. I do not understand why they have to behave in such a despicable manner. It is very toxic for gender relations as a whole. First of all, it tells men to behave in a way that's unattractive to women. Women do not like men that are just having their heads bowed down, treating them as if they're actual royalty, never having an opinion of their own, never having any backbone, allowing people to walk over them. Women are not attracted into that type of men. And the reason I'm saying it's toxic for the gender relations as a whole is like, well, again, like, if that's not attractive for women and this is the type of men society creates, imagine being a woman and you're surrounded by all these people that do not have their own opinions, aren't able to make any decisions, cannot look you in the eye, and are just completely subservient, right? Like, men can do that. Like, I know men that can take the subservient role, but it's not attractive to the opposite gender. And sure, you know, like, there are exceptions. Like, I'm pretty sure there may be some women that like men like that, but, like, overall, on average, it is not attractive. And this is the type of men society wants to create. And if you don't fit the mold, if you don't fit the box, this is what social media does. This is what the people on the internet want to do. This is a lot more disturbing than just a little dating show, isn't it? Let me know what you guys think, and don't forget, I got a pinned comment in the comment section which will take you to my live stream. And if you want to support the channel, there's also a pinned comment that takes you either to my Patreon or Subscribe Star. Every little bit helps. And I will see you guys in the comment section. Take care.